Welcome back. Well, as we've started to use the game engine, I hope you've opened up your own text editor and actually started building some of these things. Because you really can't learn this by just watching me. You really need to write them yourselves. But I'd like to take a little break here and show you a really nifty tool that I put together. This is not featured in the book because I built it after the book was done, so that when I go to libraries and schools and give talks, I can show people how to build games without installing anything at all. If you can get to the web browser, you can make any game you want using this engine. And so I want to show you this nifty tool. I've given you a link to it. And you can see that it's a handy way to just kind of play around and build some sort of sample games you can play with just on your own. It's called a Simple Game Practice. And it's a web page that dynamically generates the code you need to make a game on the fly. What? Yeah, it's so cool. Okay, so take a look at this page and you can see there's several parts to it. As you recall from our games that you've built already, we have three main sections of any game. We have the variables, so we create variables. We have initialization, and we have update. And if you look at each of these pieces, it all makes sense. Vars, we make a scene and a ball. This is going to make a very familiar scene, I think. And then we have the init, and all of the code that happens in initialization I put here in init. Scene gets new scene. Ball gets new sprite. Now this time, because I'm on the web, I gave the entire address to an image. Does this mean that we can use any image on the internet and put it in a game? Yes, that's exactly what it means. That's a little dangerous, because if you don't control the image, somebody could make it go away. But yeah, any image on the internet I can turn into a game image. Wow. And this is its initial size, 50 by 50. Scene start. There's the update, and here's the simplest possible update, right? Scene clear, ball update. Okay, so let's run this. You look at the bottom, and there's some buttons. We'll hit the run command, and two interesting things happen. One is we get a little pop-up screen with the ball moving. Ho, ho, ho! This time it's moving left or right, because I didn't change anything else. We will in a moment. So that's pretty cool. Let's close that screen, and you can see the other interesting thing happening is that we do see the entire page printed out as a script. Oh, that's neat. So if you want to, you're playing around with this and you like the game that you're making, you can copy and paste this code, put it in your own text editor, and bingo, you have something you can use. Oh, that's neat. All right, so all this little program does is it uses the web features that you already know, basically, to dynamically build a game based on text inputs. I know, crazy, isn't it? All right, so this ball game, nothing that interesting, but what is interesting is that we can dynamically change it and make it do other things. So let's say ball.setAngle, what angle do you want it to go? 45 degrees. Ball.setSpeed, let's say 5. Let's try it. You ready? Hit the run button again, and look at that. That's pretty neat. Oh, let's change these things. The ball set angle 135, and we'll make it go a lot. Oh, not 1335. And we'll set its speed to really fast. Woo! Okay, one thing about this, it's a weird thing about the web. Every time you're finished, you need to really close this pop-up window. It will try to keep putting stuff in the same window, but your timing will get messed up. So make sure you close that window when you're done. You can see that it produced all the code for my new game. I can copy and paste that, put it in a text editor to work with it. Cool. I can find any image I want. So any image on the internet, I can just paste it right there, and I should be able to use it. Wow. That's really fun, isn't it? Yeah. And so we can use this tool to sort of play around and see what sorts of things that we can do. We can try this. Bound action. See if you can figure out what that's going to do. Ready? Here we go. Aha! Yeah, now I happen to remember there was a method called setBoundAction, and I remembered that one of the things I could set it to was bounce. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. We could also set it to its default behavior, which is wrap. I could add another object here if I want to. All I have to do is I don't know, emu. All right, let's find a picture of an emu. Emu. Good, that's a good emu picture. There's the emu picture I want. Oh, please, where's my emu? There we go. That was a good one. All right. Say, let's see, copy. No, don't click on it. Yeah, thank you, Google. You're confusing me. Copy image URL. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. Google Images are sometimes crazy. All right, so here we go. Now we'll do emu gets new sprite. Its parent is the scene. Its address is that crazy thing. Yikes. All right, and we'll also make it 50 by 50. And we'll leave it at its default angle and speed and bound action. Okay, now don't forget when we added that, we'll come down here and we'll say emu.update. What game isn't improved by an emu? That's what I always say. Semicolons. All right, you ready? Let's try it. Here we go. Run it. And now we have an emu. Of course, it would be cool if the emu did something when the ball hits it, but we're not doing that yet. Whoa, cool, isn't it? Yes. It is cool. Do you see how easy it is to build your own stuff? Yeah, that easy. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing. We'll be able to add anything. And with this particular tool, the great thing about it is even without a text editor, you can start playing with neat things. Oh yeah, let me show you another one. You click on the car, and it changes the code to make a variation of that car that we built in the last example. We'll go ahead and run that. And there's the car. And we can drive it around. It's the same general car. This one doesn't go backwards yet. Oh, neat. And of course, you can change that to be any object. You can experiment with different kinds of code. There's different kinds of motion behavior we can do. Boy, change car by -15 and +15. Let's give it much better suspension. It's got race tuning or something. We rerun it. Wow, that thing turns on a dime. You see how much fun we can have? Ooh, yeah, it spins in place. I don't know what kind of a car that is. We can change its speed. You know, this one is a little different than last time. We simply change its speed on the fly, so we'll change its speed to 10. So it either goes 10 or 0. That's got neck-breaking suspension there. All right, so here we go. Boom. Yeah, now we got a race car. I don't know. Woo! So do you see how much fun we can have with this? We can change it. In fact, if you'd like, you can move ahead just a little bit and see a more complete example that involves collision detection and a second object and motion and all the other exciting stuff, even some sound effects. I'm going to cover that in a little more detail in the next unit. But you can see all of these exciting things that we can do with this built-in tool, and of course, you can make all your own. So if you haven't yet gone in and started to modify things in your text editor, well, you really should. But at the very, very least, get this page, bookmark it, so whenever you want to play around, you can always play around and build some really nice stuff right here. And you can always get a sense of what's going on, even without installing anything onto your local machine. This is also handy if you want to play around, you're at a library or someplace that doesn't have any tools. You don't need them. You can actually build games right on the internet. I've even done it this way with the iPad. It's a little inconvenient unless you have an external keyboard, but yeah, I can even write games on my iPad if I have an internet connection. Pretty neat, huh? Yeah, pretty neat. Okay, so we got, what should you do now? Well, you should make a simple game. Make something. Clearly, that's what you need to do now. Use this tool and use your text editor to be able to grab some sort of an object, make a graphic or steal one, and make it so that you can run it around on the screen, change the boundary actions, change its speed, change its angle, read the keyboard. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. Okay, in the next set of lectures, we'll talk about the various elements that you need for building any game. So we'll talk more about sprites, we'll talk more about collisions. We're going to have a big, big fun time. All right, I'll see you then. Take care.